All right, guys, here we are to talk about iZombie, episode 12, season 3.
Hey.
A.K.A. Major Can't Ever Be Happy, the series.
I forgot what happened in this video. Hold
on. I only remember the thing that it ended with, and that's what I'm going to talk about first, apparently, because I've already started.
You might say that party was blowing up.
It was fire, bro. So Major gets a text out of the blue from the prostitute he hasn't been able to find forever.
Who's cured?
Who's cured, who you wonder how she got away in the first place. I can't get away. It's impossible. He'll find me wherever I go. Here, take this cure.
So there's a thing that happens in like a show when someone gives someone like an item and the camera treats it a certain way and they play certain music and then she says like 3 sentences and there's content there and it's supposed to set you up. It's supposed to make you feel smart for later if you guessed, oh, she doesn't want the cure for this, she wants the cure as like a weapon or something, which was like my hope or whatever the fuck.
She didn't do that.
Well, she didn't do anything that we know of. She just shows up out of the blue. And
we'll never find out what she did.
Right, because the season only has one more episode on, and I'm not going to waste time giving that backstory.
Well, so she's dead.
Well, yeah. But
spoilers.
So that's the worst part for me is when they don't even tell you, right?
They close this girl's chapter so abruptly. They're like, we never tightened up that loose end.
What this is.
All right, you know what we'll do? We'll have her just text him. And he'll be like excited because he's like a schmuck whose life goes horribly in every turn.
It's really good.
And I'm like, all right. So what will we do? I don't know. She'll come back and be like, then they'll start like dating or something like immediately. It'll be great.
She'll be the new love interest. She wouldn't make T-shirts. Oh, but she should be wearing one of those T-shirts.
Of course, that she came back. She obviously would have found that like the one corner that's.
I saw those abs and I knew it was you.
So, like, immediately, he's helping her move. They're planning on going to Europe. They're going to have a good fucking life. Oh, but it's got to go to this party they're throwing me because I'm leaving. So, like, to flash back,
I knew something was going to happen at this party.
So, Major's found out that he's not a zombie. He's just
everyone
he's just
knows.
Nicely dismissed.
Chase Graves.
Yes.
So that was another false tension thing. And he ate some of the brains. I still think that's dangerous.
I don't know if he actually ate them or if he just put his mouth on it.
He was just like...
Yeah, it's a Go-Gurt. It's easy to fake.
Sure. Okay, but he was playing it off, and that had a whole tense thing where he was like, he thought something might happen there, and he was just like, sir, like, get the fuck out. And he's like,
I put poison in that. If you're actually a zombie, you'll be fine.
Yeah. I figured something would be that. And he's like, Major, I would never let you eat brains. I know you're a human. That's ridiculous. And he was like, oh, thank God. Okay, what is that? It's tuna fish, Major. You're an idiot. Something like that. But nothing happened at all. Instead, nothing happened.
I for a brief second just now was like, holy shit, did I miss that part? That's so much better than
oh no,
that was
no,
just you
I
making
fucking
shit
the
up.
whole I do that the whole the whole episode that we
I must have
this.
blinked and one of those like 4 seconds.
Because that would be awesome because they hung on him and he's very intense. Something happens later where I was like, oh, this is just True Blood. He's just the guy from True Blood. He has the same build with no shirt on and the same like weird stare.
Yeah,
that's his way of like communicating, just like staring at people or whatever the fuck. Yeah, it was good. But I thought something was going to happen. I thought something's happening. And really the whole thing was like, well, I do know, but nothing will happen. That's the twist.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's nothing.
So yeah, nothing's happening. He found out he's kicked out of the army. They throw him. What I was hoping was going to be a flashback to just them literally singing the same like "Oh, you died" Irish song. But that didn't happen.
They've used it twice, and I thought this would be the trifecta or whatever. So that was another thing. He like meets his like fucking crew, where you thought maybe there might be something there, and it's another like, oh, it's a misdirect, where they're like, yeah, bro,
dude, can't believe you could hang. You're not even a zombie.
It doesn't even make sense. You got stabbed 35 times. Whatever. You want to party later? We're setting something up. You're the man. Okay, cool.
Yeah, no one questioned at all. Like, how did you get healed? Like, how did you become human? You clearly weren't a human at one point.
Yeah, everyone thinks everyone thinks that he was just human the whole time. That's like how it's being played off, which makes no sense.
It makes no sense.
Because I feel like
he was
shit
stabbed
must have
100 times in the chest. He took the Max Rager. He flew over buildings. None of that could happen.
None of that should happen. No. How did he get to that roof? How did he survive? It makes no sense.
Well, you do get stronger with that Supermax or whatever. But
oh yeah, Wings guy was doing some shit. That's still crazy to me though. That's still crazy. And
it is crazy.
And I still maintain that just the way that like men and like people are, if you were in like a pseudo immortal paramilitary unit, you'd be like pranking people by like breaking their fingers and doing weird stuff. Like it would be very obvious that you were not a zombie because people fuck with people the way it is already when you're not super or like whatever.
Yeah.
So they'd be doing that thing where you put your hand on his hand and do the knife or whatever.
Except they just stab
your hand or some fucking stupid shit because people are stupid. I don't know. But this is all over because everyone got blown up, so it doesn't matter.
No, and how ridiculous is that? Like, every time they do anything in the show, it's just like a clean sweep all the time, and it just makes me angry.
Well, you shouldn't
and how
do
much
that.
of Max Rager, how much of
Fillmore Graves.
Fillmore Graves was in that room?
Presumably everyone, but Chase Graves, who was boffing Liv at the time.
Right? Isn't that a little crazy? And I doubt it's actually going to pan out that way. But like, what do you think they have? They have like a couple hundred zombies. Like military zombies, then they have like the paper pushing zombies and the family zombies and whatnot.
Yeah,
but, like,
what's her name's with Clive?
Elite military. How many are there? You think? And this could be
From
a
what
crazy
they've shown,
number.
30.
Didn't they say there were 300 at that picnic or something?
Okay,
300 people total though. That's complete families.
Right.
Because this isn't the army.
So yeah,
this is like a like Blackwater type operation.
Right. Assuming they haven't actively recruited more zombie soldiers.
Yes.
Like they've shown small units running by. You've seen the locker room. You've seen like the operations. You've seen like the briefing. You've seen them suited up in like one carrier going somewhere. Right. So you've seen max 50 people or whatever. Right.
At least in one spot at any given time. Yeah.
You could,
so this is
maybe they're hinting that there's more.
At the very least, this is a huge dent to their army.
Well, it's like his unit, which is like the main unit or whatever, apparently.
Yeah.
Who are all there partying, all in one place, off hours.
How the fuck did he even find them?
It makes no sense. How would he know to go? Well, let's think about it. He kills his stupid friends. They don't know. He eats their brains. They don't know. He couldn't have learned that there. There was just a party. How would he know to go there? I don't know. How would he know it's a zombie party? They're not like a public zombie party. Jump in any time. Save me from this.
He has the idea that Fillmore Graves is potentially a zombie thing, but like he just somehow knew the house, knew the party was happening. It was not like a long planned event that there could have been a Facebook page for. It was a thing where like, okay, you're out. Well, the party for you Friday? All right. Like for all we know, it was Thursday. Like
right, and it wasn't like he was on Facebook like I'll click maybe, but I intend to show up with dynamite.
Yeah, very very strange.
Was it dynamite or did it make that up? Was it like C4?
I didn't catch what it was. I pictured a string of like dynamites, but that could just be my head saying this. Do you think the other two of his are
they dead or are they
they also dead? Are they zombies? Are they there or something?
Well, so let's back up to that. Haley,
sure,
the white, the human supremacist, if you want to call it that or whatever. They end up locking them in a freezer. They call Major because Major's the only one qualified to we need you to do your thing. We need to call in a specialist.
Yeah,
and he shows
You've done
up.
This to lots of people.
He shows up with the hypodermic, the injector, the zombie trank.
Yeah,
which I guess he still has some of. Is that even anything special? Fuck it, whatever.
Well, didn't he just get that? Like that stuff Ravi could get, I think.
Yeah, Ravi knew what it was. It was like a real drug, I think, actually, just like a high dose maybe.
Yeah.
But he shoots him up, they put him in the freezer, they lock the freezer, whatever the fuck, and then later, ominously, they show like a crowbar cracking the freezer open.
Yeah.
And you're like, what's going on? And really, they just fucking put him on the couch and it was his idiot
friends.
But
why did they even do that? Why would you know to look in the freezer? Why would you think there's something of value in there?
I don't know.
It's very strange. Were they just looking for food?
Well, he expositions it. He says, man, whoever killed them must have done this. They saved him threw the body in there for later. They think he's just dead, even though he looks exactly like all the propaganda images and the shit that they've seen of zombies. Whatever. I don't know if we're meant to assume that those characters are dead or if something else is happening.
I assume they wouldn't be dead. I thought they'd come back as zombies.
More fun.
But who knows? Maybe they are dead.
Last we see, though, is Haley going, whoa, and all that stuff. So now it's...
My thought, before they said, they showed me it wasn't going to happen, I was like, okay, you're going to have three, zombie extremists, and they're going to do some interesting shit because now they're zombies. So, if you want to make the cause known, you could just go out and do things because you are a zombie. You are what you hate, but you can at least stop it from taking over the world. Didn't do that, threw his life away. When I don't understand suicide bombers at all.
That's fair. That's a good stance.
They go where they want to be to kill something. Most of the time, if you don't care about dying anyway because you're going to explode, why not try to throw the fucking grenades where you want things to die and then just get the fuck out of there? Why do they have to die? You could do this, if this is really your game, your passion, this is what you do, you could do it more than once if you fucking don't die. But if you strap a bomb to your chest, you're probably going to die. I'm
laughing on the inside because for a minute I was like, oh, good. Because you were like, I don't understand suicide bombers, and I was like, yeah, that's a fair thing. He's got a soul. He doesn't understand why he would want to hurt people. But really, you're just like, you could hurt way more people if you didn't kill yourself too.
Am I not right?
You are 100% right.
And
I think that
it explains to me how dumb they are. Because it's dumb to want to kill innocent people, like in general. Because
okay,
like
good.
you're not solving anything. You're like, oh, the American infidel is taking over my country. I know. I'll blow up a bus full of like school kids.
Yeah, the cycle of violence will just continue.
What the fuck does that
man.
do? If anything, that makes me want to come at you with everything. And I'm not in the military.
I think
I think
history has proven that out.
So, but if that's your thing, if you're already going to do that. Why, like, anything you're going to do, don't do it half-assed. Do it to the best of your ability. And this guy could have stopped the zombie apocalypse, but instead he threw his life away.
So what the episode, I totally agree with you. Obviously, it's right 100%. What the episode seemed to be showing, because he says, oh, like I think he, out of like hunger and instinct, kills his like pseudo friends or whatever.
Sure, they may be dead.
And then he says, wow, I'm a monster. I've done this horrible thing. I don't deserve, I'm this horrible thing. They're horrible. I should die, but I'm taking them with me, or whatever. And the thing with suicide bombing is that it, like, you can be there till like the last second to make sure nothing goes wrong.
No, agree. But if
I'm not endorsing suicide bombing. I'll go on record as saying
what's his name again?
Harley.
Harley. If Harley did fuck up and like left the bombs under the keg and it didn't do it, he could try again.
I completely agree with that. And if I ever wanted to hurt a lot of innocent people, I would probably not be a suicide bomber.
I don't think the thing would even be about the bombing. If I were in his shoes, it would be more about getting the truth out there. You could walk up to a doctor and be like, "I am a zombie."
Yes.
Check it.
So like this is a very like convenient thing for them to do with like the story, because he's been motivated so hard up until this point to try to do this. So that's what I'm saying is I had to make up this thing that happened off camera where he said, and they throw in like the quick line.
No, what you're saying makes sense
right
too.
Before he dies, but I had to make that up to like make it make sense. But this is obviously because now he has proof of zombies because he is one, and that's all he's wanted all season.
Sure.
And he's like, he was put out there as this ancillary bad guy for them to like have to deal with, but it just dealt with it, itself like it always does and goes away.
Yeah. And people do stupid things when pressured or scared or sad or whatever. So like I'm not saying it's impossible. Yeah. Just this show is a convenient clean sweep fucking chain.
Well, yeah, we're going into the season finale now. We've set up all these things, and I was, it would have been cool for that to be a thing. I don't know now what it's going to be.
Well, now the season finale is going to be we set up a whole new thing with like who killed Passenger 57 or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah, I really didn't like that this all is like, because maybe it is the Weckler thing coming to a head and that's the excuse or whatever. But,
it is.
So like literally,
the fact that it all panned back to that girl, and maybe I just have no memory. Who the hell was that girl that Clive was like, you're her mother? Who the fuck was that?
Wait, you're her mother?
Yeah.
Oh, she was the one who's okay. Sorry. So like later, Clive's tracking down the leads. He goes to the house of what's her name, Tatum, I think.
Yes.
Who's the zombie? Because now we know that the dude that killed the dominatrix and the fucking whatever. And then someone else walks out and he goes, "What the fuck are you doing here?" She was the person. She's been in like the High Council at Fillmore Graves. She was that other woman that was in the conference room and stuff. And she was the one. What does she usually say when they argue? She says like, she's the one who always says like, well, yes, but based on the comments on the video, they think it's a hoax. Or like, okay, yes.
I didn't recognize her
we're hearing
at
reports
all.
Or whatever. Yeah, I think she was dressed down or whatever in the thing. And
sure,
why the fuck would she be there anyway? So why would you recognize her in the first place?
Yeah.
I don't know if she's like, so like when she walked out and like the music changed, I thought it was like, oh, Fillmore Graves is the real bad guy because meanwhile across town we're setting up Chase Graves as this creep or whatever the fuck. So it's like, okay, cool. They killed the CDC lady. What's her name's, like corralling all like the hostage zombie children that they're turning to like use people politically. Like it all makes sense. But then he says, wait, you're her mother? And I'm like, wait, is she actually her mother? That makes far less sense to me now. What the fuck's going on?
So then her daughter presumably was patient zero that at the picnic started biting people and going insane.
I guess.
It wasn't indeed a gas that turned them, which never really made sense anyway. But that did back up their saying of it was a terrorist thing.
Do we know that other girl, though? Does that make any sense?
The blonde girl?
No, the other one.
The other girl was the daughter.
But do we know her from the show at all?
No, not yet.
Anything? Okay.
As far as I know, but again, I didn't remember the mother, so who knows?
I really don't like that, and like the flow of the story.
Well, that's how every Scooby-Doo thing ends.
We're going into the season finale. It should be about the people that we know. We should find out, because Chase Graves is obviously some sort of creep, I hope, or maybe they're just making it look that way or like whatever. So that needs to pay off, and they've started all that. But like to have Clive across town, like for him to find that other Fillmore Graves lady there, and to have it not be just a Fillmore Graves plot, to have it really be her daughter, and how does he even know her? What's going on? Like I was like confused.
Yeah. Spray tan confused me too. I was thinking for a second when he's like, "You want to take a shower together?" I was like, "Is the spray tan gonna come off?" I guess spray tan permeates the skin and like stays with you for a while.
I guess it dyes your skin. Yeah.
I didn't don't know anything about it.
Well, she seemed to be nervous because I think she does have a ton of makeup on, but they just had sex. So, like, I would have assumed something would have gone somewhere anyway.
Well, I think she was nervous because she's like, hey, I was supposed to be at a party, like, forever ago.
I guess.
And, but honestly, her not going to the party is the only reason Major's even alive, so
I know,
that's fine.
But the concept of showering seemed to, like, make her nervous. And I'm like, what does it mean? Because in the beginning he says, oh, you've started dyeing and tanning. But meanwhile, she's wearing a wig, and meanwhile
she said wig, but I can, like, see her scalp through it. I don't know what kind of wig that is. And it made me think, I'm like, and as the actual show now, I'm like, wait a minute. So what the hell does she always have? Because, like, is that, like, a temporary dye and her hair is bleached already? Or, like, is the bleach a wig? Like,
yeah, I think she might always be wearing a wig. I think this might be, And
this is her actual hair?
Yeah, so when she says, well, I'm not wearing this, like a, what did she say, like a bucket of makeup and like this uncomfortable wig. I took that to be this, like, meta joke of that's how she usually feels and is.
Yeah.
Wearing a ton of makeup and an uncomfortable wig. That's the reference thing.
I wonder. I've never seen her, like, the red carpet picture of her. I wonder if she is just a really pale person.
But they had sex, right?
Sure did.
Right, so if she was wearing a wig and she was nervous about going in the shower because the wig would come off or whatever the fuck, then you would have thought something would have happened during all the sex.
What spreads the zombieism? Because he said, unless you found something, prophylactic, blah, blah, blah. Does kissing not spread it? Because she made out with that random nerdy guy in the elevator.
Yep, so this is another thing that harkens back to earlier seasons where Ravi's like, the virus is so small it goes through condoms, no, and, like, tries to stop them from having sex, like, live in Major or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't understand, because...
Is it? But it's only in semen or something? Like, what the fuck does that mean?
So, like, you don't get AIDS from kissing, but if you have, like, an open wound...
But AIDS also isn't smaller than the fucking whatever.
Right, so if it's smaller than the membrane of a condom, you would think that it also wouldn't make its way down into your stomach to be destroyed, or like your saliva wouldn't just destroy it or whatever. There's a whole host of issues with the zombie virus and zombie viruses in general or whatever the fuck.
And you can never say, like, that person could just have a canker sore and you just kiss them. Like, they could get it right there.
Theoretically, if it works the same as that, right? Because an open wound with, like, spit can spread it, I think,
sure.
And AIDS or whatever. I don't know. It doesn't really follow the rules of anything, but yes, for the purposes of the show, we're forced to believe. Chase Graves, was very interested in that. I think because they can't even have sex or anything like that because someone spread it or something. But it's exhausting, Stefan.
No, I do hate random fake science bullshit. Like, just tell me it doesn't work, and I'll be like, okay. But, like, whenever you throw out something and then contradict it in any way, it really frustrates me.
They could probably just say, like, the risk is too great or whatever. Plus, like, they never really go to great lengths to establish that Natalie is cured when, Major and her have sex or something like that.
No.
And Major has been cured, but how do we know the virus is 100% gone? He's off.
It would actually be amazing if she wasn't cured. She did use the cure to get it to escape. And now Major not only doesn't have a girlfriend because she's dead, but becomes a zombie again.
I was kind of hoping she would walk out of, like, the explosion shard and be like, this is some bullshit. Let's go fuck these people up. And Major's like, what are you talking about? And she's like, no, I didn't take the cure. No, let's just go be zombie. What do you mean? He's like, no, I am cured. What do you mean? And it's this whole fucking thing.
No, that couldn't have happened. That explosion was too. And if she walked out, all of them would have walked out.
I know.
Which actually could have been cool.
Everybody
just a bunch
Haley.
Of burn dudes beating out. No, he's alive
he's fine too.
Just like pummeling him.
I think he would be like.
He has to be dead.
Destroyed.
He was attached to the bomb.
And I think like his friend crew people that had lines might not be dead. That would be like like a fun thing to do. I guess I don't know what they're going to do because I'm really not sure going into the season finale. I feel like we have Clive and Liv's things are like going to be like the thing.
Yeah.
We're going to find out. Oh, Chase Graves isn't bad, but someone else is bad, and who killed CDC lady and all that shit.
Do you think her boyfriend's going to die in the season finale?
Her boyfriend. Oh, the dude from Major's unit or whatever. Yeah, I was shocked he didn't die in this. Like I feel it's kind of weird.
No, he has to learn she cheated on him and then he'll die.
And then immediately die.
Yeah,
sure.
Chase Graves will kill him.
Okay.
Is my guess. Is right after he finds out, like what, and then Kills him.
I like it. Because he finds out.
Everyone she loves dies. Period.
Ravi and you mean loves?
Loves, yeah. Oh. Major's only there to be tortured, and Ravi's just like a friend kind of love.
It's worse than death.
How fucking horrible was the Ravi like face and stuff during his
oh my god
that vision?
So we didn't talk about the case.
He's like saying like, what is he saying, like Margaret Thatcher naked on a cold day, like whatever he's saying is just like weird nerdy bullshit. Oh god.
So hold on. So the case.
The case.
The body is the CDC lady.
Yeah, the former.
And then I was like, well, this is gonna have to eat her brain, and they smash. That's gonna be awesome. But then in like the very next scene, he says you might find yourself, a little and I'm like, oh, well, don't call it out. That kind of ruins it or something like that. And then I'm like, okay,
But it didn't happen. She was still disgusted.
Well, no, and I was like, okay, they called it out, so I guess that's fine or something like that. But then they kind of act like they didn't call it out. They just call it out for us because she still is like horrified.
But that's
or something
also
like that.
going against what I think should happen based on previous things. So like she became a dominatrix. She didn't have visions and go, this pig. She had the visions, and then she was like into that.
I know.
Because she was on that brain.
I know.
She was on a brain that was like a sexaholic. She then showed that she was a sexaholic in like the fucking bar and elevators and whatever. But then with the Ravi thing, she's like, eh.
Right.
So there's too much of random picking of when it's you and when it's not you.
Right. Because like only for that it must have overrode it so hard because it was so Ravi and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, this is an interesting development.
Minor technical difficulties. We're back. So we're just saying that there's a lot of picking and choosing of when and what the powers that are taken from the brain. The different pickups. So I don't like that. When it seems like it's a convenience thing. Oh, it'll be funny if this happens. Oh, it'll be fun if this happens. I just want a hardcore set of rules.
Wasn't the payoff so worth it?
It was not worth it.
Wasn't it?
And
so
that's what
worth it?
I can't stand. And I say it's like a pandering, but it's pandering to like idiocy. Like you're trying to sell something to the worst of your demographic when there are people that actually like the concept and would like it to be good. But you're like, no, we can make some fart jokes, bruh. Like,
so there were a few things like that. The only thing that I liked was that it like she had more than one, and it like triggered from seeing the back of his head, you would. And I was like, ha, 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 ha. But yeah, then it proceeds to be like you were saying, like he literally and I wrote it down. Winston Churchill eating fried chicken, flatulating Jabba the Hutt. Or something like that. And, like, I literally said out loud, you don't say the things, you just think what?
Because what must you be as the other person? You're, like, there, like, what the fuck is this guy? I would
like,
stop dead and walk out.
Yeah, you're like, I'm not trying not to come. I'm trying to enjoy myself. And you're shouting disgusting things? What if, unless that's your fetish, I don't want to hear that. That's crazy.
And we had no reason to believe it was. So.
And at the same time, so like I had to write down one of the witnesses, the racist, red-haired old lady. She calls CDC lady, and that's what I've called her the whole time.
Sure.
And I was worried that it might be sexist, but she vindicated me. She also happens to be horribly racist, which is also awesome.
I love that. Yeah, it cuts perfectly from like. It didn't seem like he cared about human life or something. Then it cuts to him like, oh, do you mind if I jiggle the baby a little?
I'm about to bounce a little bit. No, he was like, so by who's it, what's it, you mean turban, by Muslim you mean Sikh, and by like me you mean brown. And she goes, yes. And he goes, wow, and turns to lip. It was so awesome.
Yeah.
And that made me go like, well, this show still has a sense of humor. It just doesn't understand about Jabba the Hutt or sex or CDC ladies or whatever the fuck. It was really weird to have such a bad thing happen, so next to such a good thing to me.
Sure.
And all of a sudden, I say all of a sudden, maybe I missed it. Is Clive a germaphobe? Is that like a thing?
Clive, no, it's so, and this, I'm glad I almost forgot how bad and stupid this was. So Clive's a reasonably intelligent man, and the moment he heard, like, contagious virus or something, he was like, and like just like, oh, Robbie, you can take care of this, and just hides in the corner. When she coughs, he freaks out. Like, you're not an idiot.
Bioterrorism triggered him.
Bioterrorism, that was the word.
And he has a thing for the FBI lady and wanted to go change his career and his life and go be with her and all that stuff. But he hears bioterrorism and he's like, it's like too much. I was like, what?
No, it was so bad. It's
weird.
As if the right, and this happens in a lot of shows, where writers change episode to episode. So it seemed to me like this person doesn't know this character at all. But like, it's kind of like, you ever watch a show and like in episode 6 they develop a gun that can shrink things, and then in episode 7 they're like, oh no, there's an immovable object, and you're like, why don't you go get the gun you made and shrink the fucking rock?
At least tell me why you can't use the shrink wrap.
Yeah. So, and that's because writers change and people are not actual fans of the show or whatever, and they don't just go and do their own thing.
Yeah. I got the sense that like someone said, oh, we should have this element to the show, and then someone else said, well, Liv can't do it. Okay, well, Ravi ordinarily would do something silly, but it doesn't make sense for him to do it in this case. Okay, so Clive's the only one left. He has to do it, or something like that. And you're like, that doesn't make any sense for Clive to do that, though. Okay, good. I was afraid maybe I like forgot about some of the shit with them. But yeah, she becomes like a fucking cougar on the prowl, and she goes to the hotel bar where they were staying, and fucking starts picking up. She can't stop herself from picking up random creeps at the bar.
I think it's funny because, like, like Liv is like, and it's weird because I think Liv looks better as the pale person than she does in her weird thing. And it could be just because I'm more used to seeing her that way, and she looks very generic when she's made up with blonde hair and the regular makeup.
I thought she looked cuter like here in this episode. Finally, the first time we see her without her like, well, I say without her makeup, but like the first time we see
like
her
a human,
as like not a zombie, I was like super shocked, and I think maybe it just looked bad there, or she did something on purpose with her, or they did something on purpose with her.
Maybe.
And like after that, then she, she was like fake made up, but she was meant to be like homely and like undercover or something like that. I'm like, okay, whatever. And I think finally here they've like settled on something where I was like, I kind of like this. She looks like cute, but yes, very generic and doesn't stand out the way she does when she's.
But
like,
if you compare her to the CDC lady, she's like a supermodel. In comparison. So I think
she's like 20 years younger.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like that, yeah.
It's a big difference, and I wonder, like who she was picking up, what she was doing, this and that. It's interesting, and I don't know how many people hang out in this hotel lobby, but it seemed like it was a fucking bumping place.
Yeah.
And just ripping through gentlemen.
And I like how she's like, "What are you doing? Stop it! Oh my god!" Okay, and like has to go or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how that was a trait though, or why that's a thing, or so. Okay, really quick. So,
she didn't become like smart or no diseases or.
She just became fucking Mr. Robinson.
Yeah.
Fucking okay. So I wrote down. I think I like deleted it because it would have been so like ridiculous. Early on in like the episode. Okay. So like zombies are real shows up on like the newspaper. Oh my god, what the fuck? And my first thought was like, wait a minute, but we haven't seen CDC lady since she ran out boffing Robbie. Well, she should fucking and like I wrote down, where is CDC lady? And then literally she walks in and is like, Robbie, what the fuck? And I go, oh, okay, delete. Fuck.
Yeah.
But we have not seen her since then. So she's just been at this hotel bar, taking notes, following up on things, not talking to Ravi, who's like works in that town and knows all these things.
Yeah, it's a little strange.
And carrying out her own investigations or whatever the fuck. But she's been too busy slamming to fucking care about all that, apparently. Which I'm like, okay.
Well, and it's a different day of night, so once Ravi was out of the picture, it's like, you've been sampled. On
exactly.
To the next.
She just wanted a little taste. A little taste of the, what did they play there? Cricket? I don't have any puns for cricket.
Did you hear when she runs into Liv's like, ow? It's like, oh, it's an old Quidditch injury.
Yes.
Fucking Harry Potter sports.
I know. I like that he's a nerd.
I like that's his go-to, though, and she doesn't call it at all.
Well, she doesn't know either.
Yeah.
Because she just has sex all the time and does samples.
Well, there's like a thing where you can kind of say anything as long as you slip it in with around other things.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of the comedian Tom Segura?
No.
Tom Segura has a thing where he
yes.
he slips mommy and jeans into random sentences. So he'll be like, oh yeah, can I get 2 tickets and a large popcorn? Thanks, mommy, and maybe some milk duds.
and no one picks up on it.
Well,
yeah.
it's even if you did, you're like, well, that was weird, but all right.
Yeah, I think if you commit enough and it just it's like not relevant or whatever.
Yeah.
It just slips by because it's very weird for someone to grab you and be like, what did you just say? Wait a minute, what do you mean by that?
Did you just call me mommy?
Attack you? Yes.
Just call me jeans?
And they'd be like, no, what? And you'd be like, well, yeah, it is crazy. Why would you say that? Okay.
So I wasn't even like, I'm like, yeah, she would have breezed right by that. Whatever, Quidditch. Yeah. We have things to do.
We have real important things here. But she's dead. Everything that we said happens. She's on the prowl. We had to
but
see
more
these
again,
things,
neatly just tucking things away. All right, we don't really want to feature the CDC lady anymore. Just kill her.
Just make her dead.
Just kill him.
Yeah, it's interesting. Well, okay.
Every season, every character, no one leaves on their own volition. No one's like, oh, you know what? I think the famous musician, he's going to go become a musician somewhere. Kill him. You know her FBI boyfriend? He's going to be on another cover mission and be gone for a while. No. Kill him. All right, the Wings guy, he could have become a CEO somewhere. Kill him. All right,
he could have gone to jail.
Anything.
And then Rita could have been just disappeared. Okay? And then you could have brought these awesome characters back at some point. There could have been a whole thing, and it could have been a chair, and it could have spun around. He could have been like, "Did you miss me? Hey guys," and maybe be decaying or something. Oh god, it could have been awesome things could have happened.
I'm really surprised they didn't kill fucking Blaine's dad already.
Well, we just may never see him again. That might be the whole thing.
No, that never happens. If he's not going to be seen, he'll be dead.
You're absolutely right, and I'm glad that you brought that up again because I forgot to say it earlier when you were like, yeah, no, everything's blowing up, it's crazy, and I'm like, I know, because they keep doing that. Why do you do this? Why do you shoot people in the face and then show them cut up and make them dead? You're a TV show. You clearly want to bring people back, and you go to great lengths to make shit up, to make them zombies and not zombies and dead and not dead and fake cliffhangers all the time. Just keep doing that for everyone. What's the fucking point?
Problems.
So speaking of Blaine, there's been no Blaine for I think 2.5 episodes.
No, there'll definitely be Blaine next episode. There has to be. There's we'll get some things to tie up. And at the very least, even if you don't see him 9% of the episode, he'll be in the end to be some big cliffhanger reveal that's well, what's going to happen next season, assuming it's the next season.
So yeah, part of me thought that this was the final season, but I guess it can't be. Because they're not doing any of the final season stuff.
Well, that doesn't mean it can't be. It could have just been canceled before they had a chance.
What I'd heard, so this is part 1 of 2 of a 2-part and final 2 episodes of the season. If you look at on the things, I happen to notice that it said part 2 on the next.
I didn't realize there were 14 episodes. There were 13.
There are 13.
Oh, this was part 1 of 2.
This was part 1 of the 2-part finale.
Gotcha.
Not that they're bound to only introduce or only use certain things, but
yeah.
This does not feel like a series finale at this point.
Well, no. Again, yeah, my thought would be if this was a series finale, it was not by choice.
I know. I could have. I thought I heard something about this will be the final season, not
really?
Or something. But it's clearly not. Or if it is, I don't know what the fuck they're doing. But, like we're saying, more Blaine, more zombies, the dominatrix Wexler daughter plot mayor Chase Graves thing's gonna
honestly
happen.
Though, with how they rush through things, this could be the final episode scheduled too, because they're rapidly killing off all the zombies, and all they have to do is kill 20 more, and they have enough cures to cure everyone.
And they can just wrap everybody else up.
Yeah,
that would be horrible. Okay. Because hey Natalie, remember Natalie? And just kill her immediately. That's awful. I don't know. So part of me too, when Major was leaving, and they were all like, "You're not a zombie. You gotta go." Why doesn't someone just make him a zombie? Why doesn't he just get scratched?
Yep.
And be like,
I would have thought that would be the natural reaction. We can't let a human who knows too much about the organization either kill him or turn him.
When he was gonna shake his hand, I thought he was gonna say something. I thought he was gonna be oh, it's a shame that that you're human, but let's fix that and just fucking or something like that or whatever. And he'd be like, fuck, I have all, but then he'd be like, wait, but I can be with Liv now, and I have superpowers.
And that's of course how it's going to end, because you're gonna get
them together.
The Fillmore Graves guy's gonna die. Her current boyfriend's gonna die. Major's going to turn into a zombie.
He'll be like, you didn't cheat on me. Okay.
Then they're going to be like, oh, there's only 6 of us left. We can all cure. And they're going to get cured, and then it'll be happy ever after.
And they're fucking on a raft down the tunnel of love.
And then a nuke just falls. It's from North Korea.
Yeah.
And it ends.
Why did we know North Korea this whole time?
Yeah.
I still want the time travel where Robbie has an eye patch and a robot arm and a sword. And it's like, what happened? It's like, you don't want to know. It just goes through the whole thing.
That'll never happen.
That would be amazing. If you're going to end a show, fucking end it. Open a portal. I'm trying to think if there's anything that we didn't.
Are there any buttons? I think we've touched on pretty much everything that happened in this episode worth touching upon.
Real quick, when I described, so we forgot about the haiku. I love Chase Graves.
I didn't forget about it. I left it out.
I love Chase Graves going it's not even real haiku or something like that. I was like, God damn it. And then as Major's leaving, the way that I summed it up was he gets terminated. His team is still DTF though, or something like that, because they turned it all around or whatever. There's something we're forgetting. Chase Graves boff, sir. There was a note, caddy, room 242. There's a clue to something where I guess he boffs people in this hotel, and maybe he had sex with CDC lady and they had to kill her. There's some connection or something, I guess.
That actually could be true and hilarious. I don't know what CDC's lady's name was.
Something Crops or something. I don't know if we know her
first name would be the important part.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if we know her first name.
Huh. Well, that's a prediction potentially for the next episode.
I made a prediction, you guys. I think that's it, though. So, going into the season finale.
Yeah.
Excitement.
Yeah, all right, guys. We'll see you next time. Don't die in a fire. Let us know in the comments below what you think is going to happen next episode, and we'll see you next time.